So hello to the last talk of the day. Thank you for coming. I hope you've enjoyed yourself so far. So this is how a friend of mine technically fished GCHQ, an exploration of social engineering. So to start, who am I? I'm a first year computer science student here and one of the exec for LUHAC and also helped to plan this conference. Who are GCHQ? I'd hope given special guest before you'd understand that, but if not, they are the SIGINT, Signals Intelligence Agency of the UK, most like the NSA or Unit 281 from Mossad. And how was my friend able to do this? Well, this is going to be an interesting conversation that hopefully you're going to laugh at and enjoy. And hopefully at the end of it, I'm not going to get arrested. So, this all starts with CyberFirst Advanced. So, you may be familiar with CyberFirst, the program that definitely doesn't run for computer science and cybersecurity students in the UK, where it will give you an internship and some money while you're doing your degree to hopefully get you interested in working in cybersecurity. CyberFirst Advanced is a similar program that exists for roughly 16-year-olds. That's a week over your summer holiday between year 11 and year 12. And it's just a very basic introduction, can be quite fun, and is overall a good use of time and distraction from your GCSEs that you may have just failed. So, Act 1, the setup. So, CyberFirst went quite well for us. We made some good friends, including Lanky Max, Mill Max, and Posh Max. We had 3 of them, so we had to figure out which one we were referring to at each time. So, Lanky Max was about 6'7" and was stick thin. Millum Max was from Millum, and Posh Max, despite the fact he was 18, already owned 2 cars. He had a Vauxhall Corsa and a Mazda MX-5, if I remember correctly. So we went through a lot of basic skills throughout the week. They introduced us to tools like Kali Linux, Metasploit, and Wireshark, in addition to doing about half an hour, 40 minutes on social engineering. And in the industry, we call this foreshadowing. So, on Friday the 30th of August, in the 2019th year of our Lord, we got given a task. And this task was similar to a CTF-style activity that would last from about 10 o'clock until 2 o'clock, or someone won the challenge. So...
You spelled naughty wrong.
Did I? I have. Oh well. I will correct that at some point in the future. So the task was effectively, someone was being a bit naughty on their Windows 7 PC, and they're now trying to cover it up. Luckily for us, the grouping of 16-year-olds who were doing this challenge, for some reason they'd given it to us, that someone had imaged their hard drive. How helpful of them. So what we had to do was work through the image and try and get an file. So, we were told to get into Teams on the course. There we are. To make it a bit easier and to encourage a bit of collaboration. So we formed a team of only the most elite people on the course. I knew one of the guys from school. I studied BTEC Creative Digital Media Productions because my school refused to do IT and computer science. And that was a horrible waste of time, but beside the point. And I met the other 3 on the Tuesday of the course. There was me, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the 5 least skilled, experienced, or knowledgeable people there. And we had a foolproof plan. Mark was looking through hex dumps, Matthew was doing binary analysis, Luke was looking for signs of stenography across all the images, John was trying to enumerate the users and emails across the page, and I was looking through Windows logs. At some point, we had a fantastic idea. Why are we doing all of the really cool, hacky, fun stuff that often looks a bit like this in certain films? That image hasn't changed. Hollywood is a fantastic command when it works. That hasn't worked. Anyway, moving on. So, why are we doing all this? We can just ask them really, really nicely. So what we did is, at the start of the week, we got given a workbook to go through that would cover some aspects of the course and you could use to refer to for notes if required. And what we noticed is on the back of this workbook, it had a company's logo. One of the companies, one was NCSC, one was GCHQ, and then there was a third company that I won't name. But if you did CyberFirst in 2019 and still have the workbook, it's the one on the back in the bottom right. So we saw this and we went, that looks fun. So we Googled them, and we found a customer service phone number. So what one of us then had the fantastic idea of doing is we just rang them. And the following conversation ensues. We'll call the guy Steve for anonymity, and he answered in a very corporate and customer service way at 11 o'clock on a Friday morning. Hello, company name, this is Steve speaking. Friend. Hi Steve, my name's blank, and I'm calling you from the place we did this course. How are you doing? I'm doing well. Steve didn't know this was about to become a very, very bad day.
Poor Steve.
Yes, poor Steve. The fun bit. They had a bit of a back and forth that somewhat went along the lines of, hi, I'm at this place doing Cyber First Advanced. I'm going to move back to the mic, otherwise Andy will shout at me. And we've run into a bit of an issue. We've kind of lost the answer sheet that we didn't get given to clarify. He said, we've lost the answer sheet and the guide on how to get there for people when they get stuck. At no point did my friend state that we worked for the company delivering the course. That bit's important. And it took a bit of convincing. Mainly, I need this document to help us with what the task is. Because if the students on the course get a bit stuck, we might not know exactly what's gone wrong, and we're hoping that this document that you have will tell us how to go about helping them with this. So after the extensive conversation and some mild convincing, the final line that we really wanted to hear from Steve was, right, send me all this as an email, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And we went, oh, wait, we don't have an email for this company that's delivering the course for us. That's going to look really suspect if it just comes from one of our personal Gmail accounts. Anyway, Gmail has this fantastic feature where you can just set up a new account. It takes like 2 minutes. So we set up an email address of john.smith.place that we were doing the course at gmail.com. Used the subject line, Cyber First Advanced Course at place, and tried to roughly transcribe the conversation we'd had with Steve over the course of about half an hour so that it could be written down somewhere how it was done. Which for us went really well, because when we sent off the email, we were like, okay, right, back to the fun hacky stuff, because this is definitely not going to work. 12 o'clock comes around, all the teams break up, we go for lunch, and we're sitting with everyone else on the course, asking how are things going. Some groups have made some decent progress, they get to roughly the right file and everything. Over lunch, we got an email back on this account we'd set up. Yeah, okay. Anyway. The email back contained 2 documents. Answers.pdf and guidance.pdf. So we managed to get back from them the exact answer that we were looking for on the course and the guidance on how to get there, if we wanted to do that. But at this point, well, we've already got it. Why are we going to do that? So we got it in a method that nobody was expecting, because why would you? And we then had to go to the course leaders and say, oh, by the way, we've just won, and it's like 1:45. We're like, what? This usually takes people 4 hours. Yeah. And so we did that, and they said, right, can you go talk to this person? We're like, okay, we will. So we go and sit down with the guy who overall ran the course, which is, there we are, that slide. And we explained how we went about it, everything we did, including giving the phone number, the email address, and all the every message that we had in connection to this, and explained what it was. At the end of the course, we all got our certificates saying, congratulations, you sat in an office for a week and listened to someone drone on about stuff. And we didn't think anything of it collectively as a group. A few weeks later, I was back at this place for a completely unrelated event, and I see one of the guys who was leading the course. I say, so what happened with that out of interest? Were they very happy with when they realised what we'd done? And we found that the company who had made this course for us, under contract from GCHQ and NCSC, had now created some new phishing materials and retrained their staff. And I chose to interpret that as they created phishing materials and trained their staff, instead of retraining it. And I later heard, through the grapevine, that Steve was looking for alternate employment, not because he'd been sacked, hopefully, but because he'd left of his own accord after realising what had happened. And we made somewhat of a slight realisation with this. We were very transparent with what we'd done. At no point had we said, we're leading this course, we're instructing people on this course. And we never claimed to be part of any organisation involved with creation of this course. We just said, we're here doing this. So, does that mean that every phishing training thing you've ever gone through is completely useless? I'd like to think not, but there are still places where it slipped through. The main thing that we found that should have caught this, but should have sent red flags flying with this person was the fantastic email of john.smith.place@gmail.com, which didn't look like any other email in this company because they used the first initial, then surname at the name of the company.co.uk. So I don't see much similarity there, apart from a surname. So we just employed the common tactic of emphasising urgency, which you might have seen from DEF CON talks with the crying baby and people just constantly saying, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. Often also used by people who like to try and scam you, saying they're from EE, despite the fact you were like O2 or something. They're a personal favourite. Oh, they're great fun. How's the screen turned off?
The screen front, see if the back screen...
No, blank screen's off. Yeah, it's sad. I love AV systems.
See, this both they just work.
I don't think it's the fact that I'm using Debian is the problem here. Not gonna lie.
So if it's needed, being weird. Windows P.
Oh, cool. It's not touchscreen.
No, I'm just being stupid. It's the end of the day, you know?
Yeah, but it's still
That's so slow. Right.
So it waits all day to break.
To be fair, like that's probably the best. That's good, you know. Normally, if it breaks, it does it like mid or like morning, which can be fun.
Gone blue.
The blue slide.
That's the good slide.
There we go.
There we go.
Right there.
I was going to say...
So the final realization we had is that despite phishing training often focusing on looking at things like how are they going about this, it clearly wasn't going far enough. Because if they were, Steve would have picked up on the fact that the constant urgency of, yeah, we really, really need this before like 3 o'clock, and the fact that the email was definitely not made at 11:15 and was seriously not real about in relation to the name of the organisation that we were at for this course, it still showed that despite not a lot of effort being put into how we did it, humans are still very vulnerable about this, which we thought was quite funny. And then how we realised, oh wait, we've just technically phished GCHQ through one of their subcontractors. Does anyone have questions?
Do you like to do a bit with your friends a lot?
What?
Never mind.
Did I miss it? No, I haven't seen any of these people since this course finished. No, sorry, I served one of them in the bar I was working at about 2 years afterwards. Anything else? Sam?
Do you have a deep sense of regret after this?
No, we just thought it was funny. Oh, and a fun one that we found out after this, from my stepbrother helpfully doing Cyber First a year later, is they've since removed social engineering from the course to the extent where they no longer teach it through this company when they do it. They no longer provide any resources on how to do social engineering, what it looks like, how it can be used. Clearly it can. We managed to extract sensitive and proprietary company information from them, and all we did was call them and email them asking nicely.
Two things. Firstly, have you noticed the irony of Matthew, Mark, Luke and John?
Yes. That was intentional.
Secondly, they have since reinstated social engineering as I did it in 2021.
Oh, have they? They removed it for 2020 then.
They spend a lot less than 45 minutes on it now, though. It was about 10 minutes at the end of one day.
Ours was about 40 minutes halfway through day 3. It's like, oh yeah, this is how you build a phishing email. Moving on. It worked. Anyone else? No? Yes?
The days of detecting scam emails and things like that's gone now. Now I have GPT-3 and ChatGPT and that.
Probably not, because there would still be things you should notice throughout the email, such as the email address being the primary one. Unless they are spoofable, it's very possible. We did a phishing workshop here as part of Luhack, where someone who's in the room who will remain nameless spoofed our own domain as part of the exercise, and we went, "Oh shit, that might be a problem." So that was fun, but no, there's still going to be things part of the email that you're going to notice where it's like, oh, that's not quite right. If you get certain emails from it, and probably the syntax of it's not going to sound quite right. It's not going to be like a human's written it with correct intention. We have since fixed the problem spoofing it, Rick. Don't worry. I saw your face.
Has he really fixed that problem?
No comment. I don't know. I haven't checked. Have they? Cool. Fair.
Yes,
No comment on any of that. Anything else? Nope. Well, if you thought I was interesting enough, here are some links about where you could find me. This talk is available at talks.aaronkelly.uk, but I haven't finished setting that site up yet, so it will be available at some point in the near future. Thank you.